It's August and this is the Library Roadshow. On the show today, home improvement library style, speed dating for careers, and a visit to Café du Monde. All that and more coming up on the August edition of the Library Roadshow. Welcome to the August edition of the Library Roadshow. I'm Mary Stein, and this is a production of your East Baton Rouge Parish Library System. We're closing the books on another successful summer reading program, thanks to all of you who not only participated yourselves, but who brought your children and grandchildren to the library on a regular basis to help stop that summer slide. The staff is now switching gears to get ready for the back-to-school shift in activities, but we still have a few great events up our sleeves. Join us on Sunday, August 20th to hear author Michael Rubin with his new thriller, Cashed Out. Michael's debut novel, The Cotton Crest Curse, won the IndieFab Book of the Year Gold Award, and his new book, set in Louisiana, is sure to deliver the same level of suspense. For those of you who want to get down to business, we're hosting an open house for the Capital Region Long Range Transportation Plan on August 30, and we've also scheduled a public charrette on August 10th to get your input on the preliminary plans for the major renovation of our Jones Creek Regional Branch Library, plus the regular roster of great programs for all ages and interests. So even though school is back in session, there's still plenty to do at the library.
Free access to books, audio, and library resources are just a few of the benefits available to you when you get a library card. Need free access to a computer? You get that. Want free access to premium digital resources like Mango Languages and lynda.com? You get that. Need to book a meeting space? You get that. Heck, you can even check out a telescope or use a digital printer with your library card. If you live in East Baton Rouge Parish, pick up your free library card from your local branch library today. Premium access to everything the library system has to offer is waiting for you.
It's been a year since the historic flood of 2016, and Baton Rougeans have been digging deep and getting their hands dirty the whole time, whether for themselves or to help out friends and family. The library has made sure to provide up-to-date resources to help homeowners with repairs, and in fact, we've got a new online tool to add to your toolbox. Adam St. Pierre joins us now to explain in the digital download.
Most everyone needs to do a bit of home improvement from time to time, but us Louisianians try to do as much home improvement ourselves as possible. That's why the library is pleased to announce our newest home repair resource, Home Improvement Reference Center. Home Improvement Reference Center brings together over 125 full-text reference books, 50 magazines, 3,500 images not used anywhere else online, and over 100 how-to project videos. So whether you need to install a light fixture, wire a bathroom, build a picket fence, patch drywall, fix a leaky faucet, and so much more. And it's all free with just your library card. To check out Home Improvement Reference Center, head over to the digital library page at ebrpl.com.
I've used this new online tool myself. I'm convinced that it not only showed me exactly what to do, but also helped me make some good decisions and avoid some costly mistakes. This is just one of the many resources available at the library related to the historic flood. Researchers from LSU will present their preliminary findings at the library on Sunday, August 13th. And we'd like to remind flood victims to complete the online survey at restore.la.gov. It's really important for all those affected by the flood to complete this short survey. Let's shift gears and check in with Makayla Perkins, reporting in from Beyond the Stacks.
Your East Baton Rouge Parish Library hosts a range of diverse programming. We have events that will teach you new skills, expose you to new ways of thinking. Heck, you may even find the love of your life.
Did you know that your library offers speed dating? Well, we do, but there's an interesting twist involved. We're at the Scotlandville branch for the very popular Teen Career Speed Dating event. But what job will they choose? Let's check it out.
We're at the Scotlandville Library, which is right off of Scenic. We're just a block or so down from the hump that takes you into Southern University. Over in the back two meeting rooms, which we have open for programming, we've got a round circle of tables arranged with professionals, and we've got some teams that are going to come in. We're going to break them up into groups, and we're going to let each one of the groups go and visit a table which is staffed by a professional in their field. We're going to give them a time limit. They're going to interact with that professional, and when the time ends, we're going to rotate the groups and let each group interact with each professional.
Speed dating before career.
This is about a career. This is about a field, and this is about understanding what it actually means to be in this field.
So many teens these days aspire to glamorous and often unlikely futures. This event exposes teens at a critical point in their life journey to career paths they may not otherwise have known existed.
We've had teens that have never really interacted with animals except for, oh, this is cute. But we had the LSU's biology group and their wildlife field here, and they interacted with that and they learned about the biology of those animals, and some of them became interested in that. We have teens that have this vague idea of, I want to get into video games, but I don't know where to start. But we have programmers here.
And it's those kinds of interactions that not only opens eyes, but also provides the opportunity to get new questions answered. Maybe some of these teens might even discover a new direction, something that could really help position them in a positive way as adults.
I found that the financial sector is something that I'd really love to go into. It really would help me with a lot of the things other things in my life, such as even if I didn't want to go into finance, I think that training for finance would really help me in the future.
The library is about public good and sharing public knowledge. And a lot of teens aren't really interested in just sitting and reading quietly by themselves. They like to have an interactive discussion, whether it's with each other or with some of the professionals we have over here. So we're giving them that chance to broaden their knowledge in a way that's engaging.
Mission accomplished. Now that was a whirlwind experience. There are so many career options, but I prefer communications. To find out what's coming up next at your library, pick up a copy of the monthly newsletter, The Source, or visit us online at www.ebrpl.com. It's always a good idea to expose young adults to as many career options as possible. Events like career speed dating at the library are a great way to do just that. Back to you, Mary.
Thanks, Kayla. Don't forget our regular career activities for adult job seekers. While staff has been paying special attention to teens throughout the summer, they haven't neglected their regular work in the Career Center at the Main Library at Goodwood. Adults may come in and get career guidance, help with resumes and cover letters, even interview coaching, and it's all free, of course. After the break, Peggy Sweeney MacDonald joins me for a chat right here on the Library Roadshow.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
Ballerina. Sometimes all it takes to be a dad is remembering how to be a kid again. Take time to be a dad today.
You're watching the August edition of the Library Roadshow, everything you need to know about your local library system. Peggy Sweeney MacDonald is no stranger to libraries. Her book, Meanwhile Back at the Café du Monde, is sitting in pride of place all over the state. But Peggy is not just an author. She's drawn on her acting and production background to create a live show that shines a light on our own local food traditions. And she'll be sharing that with library patrons on Sunday, August 13th in a free show at the Main Library at Goodwood. So Peggy, food traditions are some of our most enduring memories.
Oh, yes.
And we define ourselves by our food and our celebrations around the table. Those are all those family memories that get handed down for generations. Where did Meanwhile Back at the Café du Monde come from in the first place?
Well, you know, it was 7.5 years ago, the day after Thanksgiving, when my girlfriend shared her coconut pie and a bottle of red wine story with me, which was a funny story about how how she drank a whole bottle of wine and ate the whole coconut pie that she was supposed to bring to her boss's Thanksgiving dinner the next day.
Yes.
And when she told me that story, I was like, tell my mom, tell my cousin, tell my niece over the weekend. And I said, this is like, would be a really great monologue show where people would share life stories around food. Not how to cook red beans and rice or gumbo, but more about life around food.
That's right.
So I had the idea, and I was an event producer, ex-actress, was still an actress, always an actress, and I thought, well, let me create my own event, but we got to do it at restaurants because you got to eat and drink, So
and not worry about the actual cooking and cleaning.
So originally, the first show was 2010 at the Myrtles Plantation.
Fun.
And we had a cocktail party, and then we went in and did the show. And then it just exploded. We ended up doing the show in New Orleans and at House of Blues in Los Angeles, San Francisco, Natchez, Jackson, Mississippi, Shreveport, Baton Rouge, New Orleans. I mean, it went everywhere. And it's been over, I guess, close to 85 shows since it started.
That's a lot of food.
With over close to 400 foodies sharing their food stories. And it's not just, chefs and restaurant owners. I've had people from all walks of life. And of course, in this show, it's the first show we've ever done at a library. And we just did the 7th anniversary show at the LSU Museum of Art. And now this show is going to be here at the library, which is really great for the bicentennial of Baton Rouge.
Right.
And it all started in Baton Rouge. So it really is a project that's close to Baton Rouge's heart. It's touched so many Baton Rouge people. So this show coming up on August 13th at 6 o'clock here at the library.
That's a Sunday, so you don't have, you're relaxed already.
Yes.
Come on.
And it's a family-friendly show. So bring your kids, bring your grandmothers, and everybody loves these food stories. So we have Smiley Anders.
Got to have Smiley.
Smiley's been in the show multiple times, and he is in the book. This is the book, Meanwhile Back at Cafe Du Monde, which is 67 of the food stories, and Smiley's in here. Also, Franz Borchardt. If you know Franz, he created Go Baton Rouge and Baton Rouge brunches, and he just did the Mac and Cheese Fest.
Yes.
He does all these amazing foodie events. So he's going to be in it. He's an attorney too, so he's a character for sure. Cara Castellet with The Heavenly Donut. She was just in the anniversary show. She's adorable, and she'll be bringing donuts. So
I'm ready now.
You got to come. Teresa Day, who is the food writer from the Baton Rouge Advocate. I have been trying to get Teresa in the show for years, so I'm really excited that she's finally going to be in the show. Farrelly Jackson, who's the executive director of Preserve Louisiana. And I just hosted a tour with Preserve Louisiana and Farrelly to Natchez back in January. And so Farrelly was in the show in Natchez at Dunleith Plantation, and she has a great food stories, and she's adorable and such a lovely, lovely friend now. Jerry Leggio, the actor.
We know Jerry.
Jerry's in the book too.
Yes.
So Jerry's been in lots of shows. And Jim Urdiales, the chef owner of Mestizos. Now Jim was in the original show at the Myrtles Plantation. He's been in the show, and sometimes he brings his mom, and she tells a Cajun joke. He brings her up on stage. She's fabulous because she's such a part. His parents are such a part of his food story.
Well, they would have to be, especially with
they had one of the first Mexican restaurants in Baton Rouge, and now Jim has Mestizos. So, and his father still comes and brings him food.
Oh, that's great.
He comes to see Jim at the restaurant and brings some food.
Oh, that's something.
Too funny. So he has great stories. So he'll be in the show too. So it's a great group. And then we introduce everyone. If you were a food, what would you be and why? So that's a great way to show their personalities. And I'm actually working with some kids here with a teen workshop.
Yeah. So tell me about that.
So yes, because of you said this would be a great idea, because I did the show with a charter school in Los Angeles with 42 teenagers telling their food stories. So now we're doing the teen workshop, which I hope it's going to be an ongoing thing, and maybe we'll do it again because the teens have amazing food stories. And yesterday was the first day, and we read If I Were a Food, What Would I Be and Why from the book, and then they started sharing If I Were a Food, What Would I Be and Why. So I think we'll probably ask people in the audience too, and get everyone involved to share that.
Mix it up.
Yeah, it's fun because people, the minute they hear that, they raise their hand. They're like, I know what I would be. I know what I would be.
Right, chocolate.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I say I would be Godiva chocolate. I come in a gold shiny box with a ribbon on top. Sometimes sweet, sometimes nutty, sometimes bitter, but always a tasty treat.
That's good. That's good. Okay, so that's our own elevator speech about what we would be. I need to work on mine.
Yes. What do you think you would be?
Well, I would be some kind of chocolate ice cream. I'm thinking that way I get the best of both.
Yeah, everybody loves chocolate ice cream, especially in the summer.
Yeah,
right?
maybe mint chocolate chip. We'll see.
Yes.
All right, so we know what's going to happen at the library during the show. I'm excited to see what the teens do on their own efforts, because that's a kind of a creative exercise, a writing exercise, and a producing exercise that they're going through, which I love. You know, we love to keep those teen minds active over the summer. And it's a nice way to end the summer. Like you said, we've got the bicentennial year, so we were thinking the bicentennial is not just about the history of Baton Rouge, but our food history, our sports history, our music history.
Yes.
And what's more intimate than our histories and our memories coming from the table
around food? And you know, the food stories, you know, they're like about life, love, family, loss. They'll make you laugh, they'll make you cry sometimes. Some of them are so touching when the people talk about their grandmothers who are now, or their mothers who are now passed on. Those food, everybody can relate to that. And you know, Pelican Publishing did the book, and you guys carry it at the library.
They're all checked out.
It's now in the second print, and it has 67 mainly Baton Rouge foodies are in the book. So it's been it's been a tasty journey.
Are you going to bring copies of the book that night?
I think so. We'll have some, and then it's also, I say, you know, it's the gift that keeps on giving. The beignet gets bigger and bigger and sweeter because of all these food stories, and it's never ending. You know,
that's wonderful. All right, so I'm looking forward to hearing from Baton Rougeans at our own production of Meanwhile Back at the Café du Monde. After the break, we'll be hearing from author Joy Williams, Olivia. Plus, we have book reviews with some of our youngest patrons. All that and more coming up next.
Look at me. Hey.
Raymond, look at Mommy.
Maybe the light hurts his eyes.
Maybe she's just not hungry. Maybe he can't hear us. Maybe we're not stimulating him enough. Maybe it's a phase.
Avoiding eye contact is one early sign of autism. Learn the others today. The sooner it's diagnosed, the better.
Do you wonder how your family landed here? Do you really know your family roots? Discover more about your family history at the East Baton Rouge Parish Library Genealogy Department. East Baton Rouge Parish Library. Become a member and discover more.
How can I help my daughter with her reading?
Searching for help with Dachshund reading.
No.
Let me try. Sarah's bright, but when she's reading, she has trouble sounding out words. Playing world music. What?
I give up.
Wait, I was trying to show you how Sarah feels every day. Frustrating, isn't it? Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
Welcome back to the August edition of the Library Roadshow. Do you know any young girls who feel self-conscious about wearing glasses? If you do, listen up. My next guest, author Joy Williams, has written a book called Olivia and the Land of Extraordinary that may be just what those little girls need. Joy, tell us what your book is about.
Well, my book is about a little girl named Olivia who let her peers convince her that she could not be a princess because she wore glasses. However, after ending up on an unexpected journey to find her way home, she meets some new friends and she forms new friendships with other girls and even other creatures. And she soon learns that we are all different in some kind of way, but it's not bad at all. It's actually extraordinary.
What inspired this book?
Well, my daughter, who was 4 at the time, inspired my book. At the time, she was deeply in love with Disney's princesses, but she noticed that none of them looked like her. So she thought her glasses would stop her from becoming a princess. So as a result, I decided to write a book about it to show her that it didn't matter how she looked. It didn't matter if she wore glasses or not. She has to believe in herself, and there's a princess in every girl.
Joy, how did you get your start as an author?
Well, I researched traditional publishing versus self-publishing and chose the latter because it allowed me to stay in control of my creative rights. So even though I knew that it would cause me to have to be in control of the branding, marketing, I would be solely responsible for that, editing, I didn't mind because it allowed me to stay in control of some of the things that were important to me.
How can folks find out more about you and your writing?
Well, you can always log on to my website. It is www.ienjoywilliams.com. You can also like Olivia's page. Her page is Olivia in the Land of Extraordinary. And I can be followed on Instagram at IamJoyWilliams. And I love fan mail. I love hearing from other young readers, other young princesses. So I would love to hear from you. Thank you and have a great day.
Get yourself a library card and pick up your free copy of Olivia and the Land of Extraordinary at your local branch library today. It'll make perfect bedtime reading. Speaking of reading and kids, let's check in with one of our younger library patrons and find out what they've been reading at their local library.
Hello, my name is Makayla, and I am 11 years old, and my favorite book is Judy Moody Around the World in 8.5 Days. This book is about Judy Moody, and she's doing like a science project, and she has to do like Paris and do a lot of projects and reports about the world and her favorite person that went around the world in 8.5 days, I'm pretty sure. And her friend, she's like a reporter just like her. They have a lot alike, and she likes doing the same things as her friend. Judy was about to pass another note when Mr. Todd told the class it was time for the big scoop. She sat straight up as a pencil. Mr. Todd was drawing a map on the board. Judy hoped a map was not the big surprise. I like the library because you can read, and it's very educational. You can read make-believe books and books about history and science, and it helps you throughout school. And some of them might be a good influence so you can go help others with their schoolwork.
Thanks so much, Makayla. I love to see kids engage with reading. We all know that kids who read succeed. Stay right there. You're watching the Library Roadshow.
Do you wonder how your family landed here? Do you really know your family roots? Discover more about your family history at the East Baton Rouge Parish Library Genealogy Department. East Baton Rouge Parish Library. Become a member and discover more.
My name is Melissa Easton, and I'm head of the Special Collections Department at the East Baton Rouge Parish Library, located on the second floor of the main library at Goodwood, where Baton Rouge history comes alive. The Oxford English Dictionary defines a time capsule as a container used to store for posterity a selection of objects thought to be representative of life in a particular time. Time capsules are created for many reasons, but people do it primarily because it's fun. Analyzing current cultural trends and collecting items that represent a particular society, event, or organization encourages participation and makes people feel like a part of a commemorative ritual. This time capsule was built and donated by the Ferrara Fire Company. It's made of aluminum and will be housed at the new River Center Branch Library and will eventually be opened on January 17, 2117. The contents will include items like diplomas from the local colleges, memorabilia from the 2017 bicentennial celebration, and a letter to the future citizens of Baton Rouge from Mayor Sharon Weston Broome. If you are creating a time capsule or know where one is, we encourage you to go to batonrouge200.com and submit a time capsule registry form to be collected by the Special Collections Department at the East Baton Rouge Parish Library. These forms tell us who created the time capsule, where it is, what it contains, and when it will be open. All submissions are confidential. If you have any questions about the creation of a time capsule or know where one is, you can call the Baton Rouge Room Archives at 225-231-3752 for more information. Learn more about Baton Rouge's time capsules in the Special Collections Department in the main library at Goodwood, where Baton Rouge history comes alive.
You're watching the August edition of the Library Roadshow, a production of your East Baton Rouge Parish Library System. The Baton Rouge Room has been working non-stop on the bicentennial of Baton Rouge, and here's a save the date for you. Put Sunday, September 24th on your to-do list and join us downtown at Town Square in the afternoon. We'll reenact the March de Galvez. The Sons of the American Revolution and library staff will be joined by Los Granaderos de Galvez, who are traveling all the way from San Antonio. We plan to march down 3rd Street and accept the surrender of the British commander. This festive parade will include musicians, a color guard, and more, and we'll end up at the Welcome Center for refreshments and music. Because with Baton Rouge, anything can become a party.
Hey there out there in TV land, it is August and the sun is still smoking. Saying the words, "I really enjoyed this comic book" by Kareem Abdul-Jabbar almost seems like an oxymoron. I certainly didn't think I was going to enjoy it, but I'm standing here as a living testimony. Mycroft Holmes, The Apocalypse Handbook 1, the first issue in a limited series based on the novel Mycroft Holmes by Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Anna Waterhouse, is a fun, beautifully drawn comic. The story is a prequel of sorts to the adventures of Sherlock Holmes and stars his older and perhaps even smarter brother. The Mycroft of Doyle's original tales was described as a slow-moving, overweight guy who resisted physical exertion at all costs. But this is not that Mycroft. In fact, everything about this comic book is surprising, and that's a very good thing. Mycroft has more in common with James Bond. He's a dashing jerk and a fellow Beatle everywhere, and he loves the ladies and drinking and fighting. Whether you are a longtime Holmes fan, a first-time reader, or just looking for a solid adventure, this graphic is a fabulous introduction to the world of Mycroft Holmes. The story is set in 1870. Mycroft is 23, and he's proficiently working his way up the ranks in the Secretary of State's office. The main part of this story is based in the islands of Trinidad. Sherlock is still at school, and we meet him briefly in the library, of course, and a snapshot is displayed of the brothers' dysfunctional relationship. Mycroft is taking his leave before his fantastic voyage across the North Atlantic Ocean. The entire time I was reading it, it gave me the same feelings as watching Sherlock on the BBC. I recommend both this graphic and the TV series, and that's how the page turns.
I've been reading murder mysteries set in colonial times, kind of a mashup of books for the Mystery Book Club and books that go along with the bicentennial. Plenty to choose from. If you need a recommendation, just ask, or check out Novelist online. And now for today's contest. Visit the library's Facebook page at facebook.com/EBRPL. Show off your beach book reading selfies. Let's see what you've been reading at summer's end. That's facebook.com/EBRPL. And while you're there, enjoy. We're not your grandfather's library anymore. What's coming up on the Library Roadshow next month? Well, I'm putting on a mob cap for the March de Galvez.
Tune in next month and I'll take you to the Natural Hair Support Group.
Coming up next month, I'll share another digital resource with you.
And I'm switching gears on the bookmobile to head back to schools all over town.
Thanks so much for joining us on the Library Roadshow. And remember, your East Baton Rouge Parish Library is open 7 days a week at each and every one of 14 branches, plus 24/7 on the web. Check us out at ebrpl.com.
And that's how we roll.